Hey everyone, what's up? How's it going? So I'm just going to try to work on Project Planner AI. Let me do something real quick. Try to figure out what task I could work on. I think one thing that I was going to try to add in was the ability to kind of use like create like a chat panel where I can use ChatGPT to ask questions over my specific project and have it have context about all of the recently finished work items, what you're currently working on, information about what you're building, and just see if that's something that might be useful to help finish projects and just ask it for like what should I work on next. Or, maybe I'll work on something else. I'm not sure. I'm really not really sure. Let's just go over here and I'm gonna make a new work item. I don't think I already have one. I don't think I have a I don't think I do. Hmm. No, Hostina did most of the UX on this application. And we're also using ShadCN components, so just using a lot of the built-in stuff. All right, so let's first see if there's like an existing. How do I want to do this? I'm gonna try to just like think about this before I start coding. I think having some type of chat on the left. Can't tell if I want to have like a button that you can click and then it has like a side panel pop up. Honestly, it doesn't really matter where we end up putting it. Maybe I can put it in the header. But yeah, let's just focus on the panel. So we're going to go to the main layout, and I have to kind of like remind myself about this project sometimes because it's actually getting pretty big. Can you take a look at and let me know your comment? Take a look at what? All right, so I'm on a projects page. So let's go to the projects page. There we go. We're on the dashboard. And on this page itself, I think I have a layout going on here. So we can also find a layout. What theme am I using? Right now, I'm trying a new theme. Just change it up a little bit. It is called Bearded Theme HC Ebony. So let's try just adding like you know how like you use like Google applications, they have like a little button down here you can click. I'm gonna try adding that. So we have the project wrapper. What is this doing? Must be new. Put all this stuff. Content, got the side nav, we got this. I think I could just put it here. I'll say relative. Then we'll put a button here. And we'll put an icon. What should the icon be? Cat icon. Now we'll make this absolute. We'll say bottom 0, right of 0, and see if we can get this to show up. Content. What is this one? Overflow auto. Mess. I should probably close out of Steam. Yeah, there's a couple of paying users. I'm not sure if they're paying because they just want to support me and what I'm working on, or if they're actually using the application. We got to do more analytics, and Wilson's trying to actually reach out to some of the people who have premium plans and just get their feedback on like what they like in the application, what they don't like, what they would ask that we add in. But, you know, as a side project, I feel like we're making some slow, steady progress, which is good. I can just figure out where the heck this thing is supposed to show up. Let me go to a different page. If I go to the dashboard. Also hard to code after working 8 hours. I did my 8-hour shift today at coding at work, and now I'm trying to code some more, so my brain's a little bit fried. You're probably looking on the live, not the dev server. Yes, I've done that so many times. Oh my gosh, thank you for pointing that out. Oh my gosh. No shame. No shame there. All right, here it is, the button. Thank you so much, James Santos. You have saved me probably 5 more minutes of me floundering around. Is that the word? Floundering around? So let's just go ahead and say rounded full. Is that not how you do it? I thought that's how you do it. Am I on the right URL? Localhost. I am. Why is that not showing up? I think I just need to give it like a fixed width and height. I'll say width of 40, height of 40. There we go. That button's a little too big though, so. And it might turn out that this is not a good place to put this button, because it's probably going to occlude a lot of the, like if I go to the work items, it's going to cover some work items, but we'll figure that out. All right, so why isn't my chat bubble showing up? There it is. So if I were to click this, I want it to slide out a panel, a sheet, so I can actually start having a live chat with ChatGPT about anything in my project. But before I do that, I do want to make this a little bit bigger. Width of 8, height of 8. I got a question that bothers me. Yeah, I mean, you can ask questions. There we go. I can hover over it. So we already have sheets in this application. We have a lot of different types of sheets. And a sheet is a type of UI component. For example, when I click on this, you will see a sheet pop out, right? And so I want to basically copy and paste an existing sheet and add a form where I can like a chat box, you know, a chat panel. And I should probably look to see if there's one that already exists in ShadCN, but we'll just try to implement it for fun live. Now what sheet would be the best to copy? Create work item sheet. Probably, it's probably fine, right? So let's just go ahead and go back to the project wrapper. And I want to make a new component. I'll just put it right here. And I'll call it chat with AI sheet CSX. There we go. And I'll go ahead and paste. Oh, I guess I already had it copied. I'll just do this. There. Go ahead and just change it, chat with AI sheet. And the way this works is basically you click on this, it opens a sheet and shows some stuff. Now, in our case, we're going to say chat with your project, or use AI to chat. Ask questions over your project. That might be too long of text, but we'll figure this out. So create work item form. I'm going to change this to chat panel. Okay, I guess that's not able to refactor for some reason. And what else do we need to kind of delete from this? So we have like a button here, and we have a bunch of different form items. Honestly, we just need probably an input. So we should have an input somewhere here. This is probably the most complicated sheet we have in our system. Here we go. We got a title. We'll call this question. A lot of duplicate code here that we probably will not need. I'll check the chat in just a second. Let me focus on trying to get this done real quick. Calendar open. Yeah, we don't need that. Question. Let's go up here. We'll say question is a min. All right. What else can we delete? Create work item using mutation. We don't need that. On submit. So we will need to probably... What is all this stuff? Is mobile. What is that being used for? Go focus. Interesting. Must be something that was added at some point. What should I work on next? Could be a good placeholder. What should I add next to my project? All right, is there anything work item related? No. All right, let's try this. Moment of truth. I'm going to go ahead and bring this in right here. How to import this? Plan ID is missing. Do I have the plan ID? I do. Let's just go ahead and add that in. To that. I know my face is hiding this, so we should probably over here. And the button is kind of down low, so like just for this stream, I may just move it up. I don't know, 20, just so you can at least see it. Okay, that's too low. Let's do 44. There. Streaming on a MacBook Air is kind of weird because the resolution is not 1080p. It's some like weird standard. I don't know if it's a standard, but anyway, let me go back to chat. I'm happy I added that widget in. Are you guys happy I'm adding it in? What is up, Etrin on Twitch? Have you used Drizzle ORM with multiple databases for the same project? I have not. I usually just have one database for a project. Any ETAs on the starter kit? Honestly, I keep adding stuff to it. I need to stop and just like release it. But hopefully soon. Like just recently I realized that the Stripe webhooks I'm listening for, like I need to add some more because I didn't fully have that polished and baked. But I can kind of demo that maybe at some point. I don't have it running. Yeah, just ship it. The issue is I do want to try to monetize it. And the monetization path I'm thinking about doing is doing like a full-on tutorial walkthrough video where I basically record a video, I walk through the code, I explain everything, I show you how to deploy it, I show you how to maintain it and add features to it. And then everything else is going to be MIT and free. So if I get around to it, that's my current plan. But I would like to have that video ready when I launch it, because that's how marketing kind of works. But honestly, I just don't have time to like do stuff, so I might just ship it. Is this project wrapper will replace using context? So this, I'm not sure what that question is. Ducey says, "Hey Cody, are you creating a new branch for the chat feature, or are you working right off of main?" We work directly off of main on this project, which is why we kind of break the app once in a while. Feature branches do add a little bit more overhead. We don't do pull requests. We literally just commit the main. We check, make sure everything seems like it's working fine locally. We push it, it gets deployed. We check the deployment. If it seems fine, then we move on. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, especially on a small 1 or 2 person team. Just try to keep it as simple as possible. Keep the processes burned back. Should I design my backend starting from the front end use cases, or I design the front end to represent my backend? To me, it's like one holistic thing. Like you should be like designing them both together. At least that's how I do it. Sometimes I'll start with a UI feature. For example, in this scenario, I'm adding a new feature and I decide to start with the UI, mainly because people who are watching my stream can follow along when they see there's a cool widget that comes over. But secondly, it just gives me a better insight into like what I'm building, because I can always open this to remind myself, oh, yes, I'm building a chat widget. So let me power through any more extra comments. So that design my backend starting. Hi man, I wanted to create a SaaS, but I'm wondering, how do you fix things like policy and legal? Honestly, use ChatGPT or just find an existing site and copy what you can. No one's gonna hire a lawyer, let's be honest. Like no one has the money to go and actually hire a real lawyer for a little side project. I would just find an existing privacy policy. What's the other one? Terms of service, cookie preferences, banner, whatever. Just follow what other people are doing, honestly. Just don't copy them, because that's probably not allowed. Can you share your user's setting JSON? What is my VS Code? What's up, Nizzy ABI? Yo, I made a pull request to your starter kit because I noticed that your webhooks, I feel like you're missing one or two. And then I linked the Vercel starter kit that uses Stripe, and I realized they do stuff a lot different than I've been doing. And I think their approach is actually better, so I might actually change and use the way they're doing it. Do you use external monitor or just a laptop? Just a laptop. Do you use local? David Justice says, do you use a local DB or DevDB instance, or do you develop with prod data? Right now, I'm using Convex for this project, and it's connected to a dev instance, so it's all a bunch of dev data. Douglas Souza says, you have been my inspiration. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. Viral Gupta. Hey, Cody, do you know how indexing/searching works in an encrypted database? Like, we have an option to encrypt RDS using KMS. How does that work? So I'm pretty sure when you encrypt the database, it's encryption at rest. So like the data that's stored on the actual hard disk or solid state drives or whatever, that's the stuff that's encrypted. But if you use whatever default like SQL builder, like when you make your SQL request, it's going to automatically decrypt that for you. It just happens the KMS key you're using is what's decrypting it on their solid state drives or whatever persistent storage engines they're using under the hood. So that if a developer were to log into AWS, who works at AWS, and like clone your entire hard drive, there's nothing they can do to like get access to your data. Oh, by the way, Nizzy ABI, let me give you a shout out. Let me see. 1 second. Nizzy, why is your channel not have like an actual URL? Are you not able to choose one? It's like some arbitrary. Go and claim a URL for your YouTube channel, bro. But yeah, go check him out. Go give him a subscribe. He's doing a lot of Next.js stuff. I feel like he's trying to do like the create a SaaS entrepreneur type of stuff. And he's like basically publishing videos every day, which I salute him for, because I've done that on my channel and it's hard work. So go give him a follow. And he actually does custom fun thumbnails as well, which good job. And he has a starter kit. If you want to go check out his starter kit. Open. I like the keyboard sound. So I use an app called Clack App. It's like $3 or $4 on Mac. You download it, and then you can get these cool sounding click. Here's the drop down for it, right? I can change the volume. I can change my switches. They have 4 different options, which my head's blocking, so I'm too lazy to hide my head. But I like it. It just makes coding more enjoyable, especially on a laptop. Connecting my Django back into Supabase has been heaven for one of my projects. Yeah, I've used Supabase. It's not too bad. It's not my personal favorite. That's why I use Convex in this side project. Yeah, is that not how you pronounce your name? Souza? Stoza? Your design is clean, love it. How or where did you learn the skills? Most of the design is all coming from either ShadCN, and Hostna does a lot of work on the design of things. Like she's really good at the UI stuff. Seems like ShadCN has taken over the front-end community. Yeah, ShadCN is great. Although when you start using it, you start realizing it's missing a lot of like basic functionality. Like it doesn't have a time component, like a time picker. It doesn't have something else that I recently wanted pretty bad, like a type ahead. It doesn't have a type ahead component. It's got some weird stuff with the sheets, like not working when you go to mobile. And then you go look at the Git repo and it has like 500 open pull requests. I have no idea who's working on maintaining ShadCN. If it's still just ShadCN or if it's like a team now, since he got hired at Vercel at some point. But yeah, I don't envy any open source maintainer. It seems like a lot of hard work and very little respect is given to it. Worked with Docker Compose. Have you ever worked with Docker Compose and deployed it to ECS? Doing it now and it's hard. ECS. I don't think I've actually worked with ECS. I mean, at some point I probably played around with it. Like I know I've touched Fargate at some point, but I don't think Fargate is the same as ECS. Or Fargate is like an option under the ECS panel. I thought it's just you point to a Docker image and it runs your stuff. Is that not how it works? At least for Fargate, you point it to an image and you say like, what is the min and the max range of your containers that you want it to spin up? Or you can set like an auto scaling setting, I believe. Have you ever wanted to work for a big tech company or a different company? Yeah, I mean, I think about it sometimes. I think I'm more of a startup type of company person. Like I want to work on smaller projects where everything I do, it feels like it has more impact. The larger the company, I feel like the less impact your work has. Although when your feature does ship, I mean, I guess there's a ton more users getting to use your feature. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool at some point to try a big company. I'm not a fan of bureaucracy and red tape and like getting permission to do everything. I just like autonomy. And I feel like there's a correlation with big companies have less autonomy that they give engineers. But I haven't worked at a really huge company before, so I wouldn't really know. What do you think about the AI trend and what do you think we should do about it? I think you should just stay up to speed on like using it. Just when new features of ChatGPT comes out or new versions of the API, figure out how to use it, integrate with it. It's not going away. I don't think AI is going away unless like governments decide to shut it down. So get good at learning how to integrate with it. And yeah, if you get good enough, you can actually start building tools and selling them. Daisy UI is pretty nice too. It just has a different approach. But yeah, if I was doing something more simple, like if I was doing like HTMX with Go, I would probably just pick Daisy UI, honestly. Well, I couldn't pick ShadCN anyway, so. Over on Twitch, are you using pragmatic drag and drop for the Jira like board? I don't know. We've done like 3 different things. And it's been like refactored multiple times. Right now we're using Hello, Pangea, drag and drop. That's what we use right now. In your opinion, how realistic is it to make a living from your personal project that becomes a SaaS, and what would the process be from a high level to do it? Realistically, I don't think you can make a living off a SaaS unless you're lucky. Like, there's some people on Twitter you might follow, and like you'll see the successes of Level.io making like $300,000 a month on his SaaS products, or at least his revenue is $300,000 for his like AI thing. But personally, with like a family and kids, that's not a risk I'm willing to like go all in with building a SaaS product. I think it's more of just something fun to do, and I'm learning stuff along the way. But if my recommendation is if you do have a full-time job, work on a SaaS project on the side, stay focused and just work on that project. And every night, 30 minutes, work on something, whether it's a bug, whether in this stream I basically just added this button and a sheet. Maybe that's all I add tonight, but at least that's a step forward in the right direction, and just try to continuously add on features. That's what I would do, and then try to slowly get users. I would probably not like quit my job and go full time on trying to build a SaaS. Like that just sounds too risky. As a beginner who wants to dive into freelancing, what sort of projects do you think we should show to potential clients to let them know that we are good enough to build the project? I don't know. I mean, I would probably have like one really nice polished project. For example, like the one that you can see here that I've been working on with Hosna. Like don't show them like a tic-tac-toe game or something. You need to show them something real that could convert to them being like, yeah, you know what you're doing. Make sure it has no bugs in it. If you tell them to check out your app and they click on a button and it crashes, like it's game over. They're not going to hire you. I even tried to go to Fiverr one time and like try to land freelancing gigs back when I had like 6 or 7 years of experience just to try it out. And it was so competitive, like no one responded to any of my bids. So I personally don't know. It just sounds like a very hard thing. I would probably first go and ask people who live near you, communities, businesses, friends, and just ask if they need people to like, if they need a dev to build a project or something. Have you ever done something related to Web3? Yeah, I think 2 years ago or something, I messed around with deploying smart contracts using, I think it was Ethereum. And I learned about, man, what's the thing? The smart wallet, the wallet plugin. I've already forgotten all the things I've learned, honestly. I learned how to deploy Ethereum contracts. MetaMask was the wallet I had on my Chrome extension. I learned a little bit about that. The testnet I learned about. So, I mean, I played around with it. I think that's pretty cool. What's your take on Upwork? Personally, I would never do any type of freelancing. I would probably just start I would make a website, make it look really nice, have a form where people can contact me and just say that you're like a software consultant and just hope people like land on that page. I don't know. I don't want to give freelancing advice because I don't freelance, right? This YouTube channel is the closest I've done the freelancing, which is like started off just for fun, but then I started getting like sponsor videos and stuff. But that's a different path from like just building software. The crazy market saturation right now is, yeah, it depends on where you live, but I hear stories that like I have talked to some people from India, and it's like tons and tons of people are competing for the same job. And then when you get the job, you're working like 12 hours. And if you don't want to work those 12 hours, they're going to fire you and hire someone who does work 12 hours and only get paid for 8. Sounds crazy over there. I don't know, but maybe correct me if I'm wrong. I just finished 16 months first job. We just moved to a new tech stack and undid my 16 worth months of bugs and features. Yo, that's the worst feeling. That happened to me. Like I worked a full year on a project. My first job, it was me and like 6 other developers on a IRAD, internal research and development team, and we spent like 12 full months building something, and then upper management said, you know what, guys, we're going to go ahead and cancel your project. You guys are going to move on to something else. And it's like, dude, a whole year of my life, like obviously I learned a lot of stuff along the way, but it just sucks when like your project you've been working on, someone from above says you guys are moving on to something else. Do you think, Royan Gagas, do you think it's normal if we feel less confident to do coding tests such as HackerRank, LeetCode, but in the project we can complete? I mean, those coding challenges are hard. They're hard because they're testing you on specific algorithms you have to like learn and memorize and understand. Like I would not expect someone to like do like an intermediate or hard HackerRank problem and actually be able to solve it unless they've already done a bunch of like practicing for specific algorithms, like Dijkstra's algorithm, Kruskall's minimum spanning tree algorithm, stuff like that. It's cool to know these things, and they do make you better at problem solving, but I don't think you should feel bad if you don't don't feel like you can do it, because they are very hard problems to like wrap your mind around. So I would just, if you can complete projects and like build stuff, I think you should pat yourself on the back too, because that's pretty cool. Dan can code. Hey Cody, hope you're doing well. Hey, I can. Hey Dan, I am doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Got a new keyboard. No, I'm just using my built-in MacBook laptop keyboard. I just have that Clack app that makes noises. And yo, this app, this has by far been like, other than people asking what my VS Code theme is, this is the second most asked question of like, how do I have these sounds? Like, what keyboard do I use? And again, it's just clack.app. It has like all these, it has like 4 different switches that play when I type a key. But thanks for jumping in, Remco. I see you on, don't I see you on Twitter all the time? Your avatar, I definitely recognize it. Sorry, there's like so many people who comment on my stuff, I just can't like remember names. But if I see an avatar I remember, like I definitely seen your face before. Yeah, I think freelancing is much, much harder to get into than just like getting a job. And it's probably a lot more work. Oh, Discord. I'm dumb. Sorry. I'm not as active on Discord as I once was. I need to get back into it. I feel bad. I feel like I've ghosted my Discord. And I want to like start a community project again so we can like build stuff together, but I feel like I'm just juggling too much. I got like 2 side projects. I got this starter kit I'm working on. I got my full-time job. Still trying to make YouTube videos. But at some point, I think after I finish the starter kit, I'm going to take a step back and just try to focus more on the community building. Because that one project we built together, the Code Racer, that was fun. I think it was crazy. In 2 weeks, you all just like shipped so much code and got like a fully working application in 2 weeks. I was actually blown away with how talented everyone is. And how like people were just able to come in and just contribute, because we all knew Next.js. We had this common like pattern of writing code, and we just like knocked it out of the park. Yeah, marketing and finding customers is a very different skill set than programming. Exactly. At least with a job, like they give you a story, they give you a task, and they say this is what you need to focus on for 3 weeks. Just get it done. That's all you need to focus on. Program this feature. Okay, doing a take home for new job. Want to check the readme out for funsies on the stream? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, I don't want to think too hard right now. I'm tired. But if I do another stream, maybe. How did you become super good and comfortable deploying things on AWS? Did you get mentored in your early years working on it? Yeah, I mean, like every project I've worked on my current company uses AWS, because I do a lot of government related projects, and they have AWS.gov, which is like their own custom. I really don't know what AWS.gov is. I think it's just like an allocation of servers that only the US government can use. And so because we have to use AWS, you have to end up getting good at understanding these services and using infrastructure as code tool to deploy them. But yeah, mentorship, kind of. We do a lot of pair programming and mob programming. And so we have like me and another person working together on the same story for like a week or 2. And then after we finish that task, we might rotate. So yeah, there's always mentoring going on. There's someone who knows more than you about something, and you always pair with them. But I didn't have like a specific AWS expert working with me. It's more like 2 guys struggling, trying to figure out how to write Terraform code. And then 2 weeks later, we feel like we understood a little bit. Did you get the % increase in view count and growth rate when using custom thumbnails? Yes, the custom thumbnails actually did help with my view rate, but also I think the videos at the time I was doing were just more clickable, right? Like the DDoS video, like super clickable. I'm trying to think what other stuff I did with the custom thumbnails. But YouTube actually just released a A/B testing with thumbnails. So you can actually upload 3 different thumbnails, and they tell you which thumbnail performs the best. And I think after a certain amount of time, they'll just use your best performing thumbnail. And so I have a video that I'm probably going to publish tomorrow, which is going to try 3 different thumbnails. They're not custom. I literally just took 3 different screenshots in the video of what I thought might perform well, and we'll see. Next up is I want to try to make my own custom thumbnails and compare the performance against like the auto-generated thumbnails that YouTube gives me, and just see like how much better metrically do these thumbnails perform. Because before it's just me kind of like going off of just like me looking at a chart, and it seems like the custom thumbnails did perform better. How often at your work do you get well-defined assignments versus more vague? Here's a problem, find a solution. I mean, where I work, it's very, the user stories are very well defined. So like we have a project manager, we have designers and user experience engineers who work with clients, work with the client and the users to understand what exactly they want added. And then when we get the story, it actually has a list of a bunch of test cases that we can manually run through and verify that what we're shipping with this user story matches the business rules that like we need. And so as we go through that story, we will write automated tests as needed, unit tests as needed, using those test scenarios that are kind of written in the story, and then we ship it. So yeah, I'd say it's pretty well defined, right? And you can tell once you ship it if you hit the mark or not, or even before you ship it, you can tell like, did you miss the mark? Yeah. Let's see. I was trying to explain the difference. T-Tick. I was trying to Nick, sorry. I was trying to explain the difference between Apple and Google Maps and so on, and the algos come up. Okay. Algos came up. I'm not sure what that means. Remco, I hop in now and then fight with Daria regarding some CSS stuff. Yeah, I need to start fighting with you all some more. It's just fun. Daria's funny. How do you guys handle prevent merge conflicts in CodeRacer? Honestly, I don't remember. I think people just worked on things that happened to not over conflict with other stuff. Especially if you start like designing, like Next.js is really good in that aspect because everything is like file based. And so you can have people working on different pages concurrently, and there's like a very, very low chance that you're going to have merge conflicts. If two people decide to work on the same page at the same time, that's when a conflict kind of occurs. But yeah, I think when conflicts come up, people just fix them. Like they just had to. I decided which PR gets merged first, and I merge it, and then your PR will get a merge conflict, and so you have to go and fix it. You might as well be a competitor of Clack and monetize on it. Oh, competitor of Clack and monetize. A viral Gupta. That's actually not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. Even a big brain move is I have my community build the app, and I make an MIT license, and then I fork it, and then I monetize it, and then I market it on my own channel. But yeah, I don't know if I have time. I think I just don't have time to do this type of stuff. But that would be pretty cool to like learn. I don't know what they're using here. Do you think they're using Electron? No, they're probably using something like legit. Like what do you use to build iPhone, iMac stuff? Something C? Something sharp? I don't remember what it's called. I have an MVP in my brain, but I keep adding stuff. It's so annoying. Yeah, at some point you just gotta stop. And just be like, yo, this MVP has too much. What do you think about Elysia? I think I used it for like a day or two. It seems like it's fine. I don't know. There's like so many different Pono, Express, Happy, Sales. Like there's so many different API things. Nest.js. I think if you were to ask me to write like a REST API, I'd probably use Nest.js, honestly. I feel like Nest.js feels like the most solid, and it has a lot of like the built-in TypeScript and the open API doc generation out of the box. But I haven't personally used it, so I don't know. Have you ever built drag and drop page builder? I have not. I think I spent a day prototyping something before. If Remco, if you don't feel like no need to check it out, of course. Is this chat super old? Hold on a second. This is top chat. Let me go to live chat. Okay, it just feels like something's like super delayed. Swift. Thank you. Thank you all. Yo, didn't I say that? Like, I asked that question so long ago. What's going... The YouTube chat is so slow. Twitch, Dan can code. Oh, wow, that's nice. I think I've undervalued predefining work for others, working on improving that. The early bird gets to avoid the merge conflicts. Dan can code. Prime Gaming. Do you have like a YouTube channel? Your name sounds kind of familiar. I think I've undervalued predefining work for others. So do you work as like a project manager or something? Or like, are you product owner or something? I guess I'm curious when you say like, I've undervalued predefining work for others. But yeah, I mean like, if someone can't read through like documentation and understand what they need to build, it's just a higher chance they're going to ship you the wrong stuff. And then you have to go back and communicate that again and again and again. So I think it's better to be a little bit upfront with your stories and list out exactly your acceptance criteria of when is this story done? Does it check off all these boxes? And when it does, here's a new story you guys can work on. Primarily work with Electron. If you want to, I can work on it. This Clack app though, if you really think about it, it's like a keylogger, right? Because it's listening for every keystroke I type. And I sure hope it's not like doing stuff with that. But it sounds nice, so whatever. Dev Lizandro. Next.js is crazy good for productivity, or is only my feeling? I mean, that's why I use it personally. I've never felt this productive building on applications before. Before, like when you have a separate REST API and you like have to make a fetch request from the front end and you have like a single page application, you have to figure out how to bundle that and deploy that separate from your REST API. There's just so many extra moving pieces. Next.js just makes it nice. Although, I mean, it does have some rough edges. But yeah, I like it. I like it. Magic UI. Next.js. Should I just keep on talking to chat, or should I actually try to like implement something? What do we have here? We have a button, you click it. We're doing great. Click send, we get the question. Maybe I'll try to just add like on this form, the chat panel. I think how we can do this. So like when you make your first, maybe we can just have like one historic log of a chat over your project. So let me try doing, I'm going to try adding a little bit of code. I've been having fun talking to chat, but like did make this stream to try to get some work done on this. So that's the predicament with live streaming in coding, is that it just doesn't work out. You just end up answering chat. But I do want to go to Convex, and let's go to a schema real quick. Project's getting a lot of code up there, man. It's up there in line count. But what I want to do is I want to add a... Do I have chat already? I think I don't have chat. I think it's called messages. Yeah, okay. So we have messages, which is like you and your teammates want to send messages to each other. But then we have chat, which I might actually call it like AI chat. But where is that? What do I want to call this? Screw it. Let's just name it chat. And then this needs to be associated with a particular plan. So yes, this needs a plan ID. This needs some type of unique identifier on the chat. Probably need a user ID for sure, because chats need to be specific to a user, and then it has to be specific to a plan ID. Key. What is key? Do we need key? I think all we need is like this. I mean, I think I built like chat multiple times, so I don't know why I'm struggling to figure out how to do this. So we want to basically have an index over the plan ID, user ID, so that any user can query and get their historic list of chat that they have done with the AI. I think that should be good. Assistant chat. I kind of like that. That's pretty good. I like that. Let's do it. Assistant chat. Thank you for the suggestion. Did I spell assistant right though? I feel like I failed English class back in high school. Okay, so let's go, and now what we could do is when we ask a question in our sheet, we have a form. When you submit the form, we have to basically submit something. And so we need to call some type of, probably an action. So in Convex, you can create an action. I'm going to make a file here. I'm going to call this assistantchat.ts. And we're going to say export const. By the way, is the clicking too loud? Do I need to turn it down? I'll say ask question equals use action. Or no, I think it's called create action. Bro, I've already forgotten what it's called. It's called action. Here we go. This is going to take in a handler, and then for inputs, come on, TypeScript. Give me what I need. They're not inputs. Whoa, Nizzy ABI with the super chat. Thanks for being so supportive to both new developers and content creators. I truly appreciate all you do, man. Yeah, man. Keep doing what you're doing. People take notice when people are putting in that hard work, and whether you know it or not, I mean, like, me watching other content creators inspires me to like want to make content as well. So I appreciate all the hard work you're putting into your channel, and I think it does inspire, at least it inspires me to like want to keep on making content. So I wish you the best of growth, and hey, I appreciate that super chat. What was I doing here? Args, that's what I need to do. I think we also want a plan ID here. Here we go. So you can make a, you can ask a question. Next time I buy a coffee though, I'm going to think about you, Nizzy. I'm going to appreciate that coffee, that $5. So here, when I submit the form, I'm going to say use action. API will say assistant chat dot ask question. Here we go. And we're going to go ahead and just invoke this and pass it the plan ID in the question. I don't have the plan ID. Why not? Plans of ID. I think it's ask question. Yo, one thing I've noticed about TypeScript on like larger projects is it's just slow. Like this literally took 3 seconds to like work. Well, I guess there's an issue here. Hold on. ID plans. Did I do something wrong? VID plan ID in question. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, plan ID is potentially undefined. No, that needs to be defined. Definitely. Oh, another super chat. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all. Bro, you missed a Theo raid on Twitch. Oh, dang. Let me go check that. Wow. Thanks, Theo. I appreciate that. Welcome. All of Theo's people are watching me now. I've never been rated before, so this is a first. This is a first. I don't even have notifications that pop up when I get rated. Wow, I got my break. I finally got my Twitch break. I have my YouTube already. Now I got my Twitch break. So what do people? Man, I'm excited. This is actually a really memorable stream. Typically, it's just me streaming on Sundays. So how is everyone doing? It was just me chatting with my YouTube folk, and now I have 200 Twitch people, or however many Twitch people I got now. I'm just working on my little project, so yeah, honestly, you guys are going to be asking too many questions, and I'm not going to be able to even keep up with it. How long was I sitting there and not even noticing that I got rated? It's embarrassing. I'm a Twitch noob. I feel like a boomer sometimes. I'm so like, don't know how to use Twitch. I don't even have my stream manager open on Twitch. Guess because like I never get viewers, so I'm like, what's the point? Well, welcome, welcome. I'll try to answer questions still, but I am just trying to work on a side project that started at the end of last year, and we're still just slowly cooking on it. And right now, we're trying to add the ability to basically ask questions using AI against your projects. So I'll send Theo a thank you on Twitter soon. Oh boy. Well, now I can go back to ignoring you guys again. So let's just go ahead and start coding. Yeah. So what we were doing before that happened, which is crazy, we were making an action that I can invoke, and I want to just go ahead and make sure that the args, when we invoke this, are going to be printed out. And where is this being called? Oh yeah, so we're invoking it here, and then I think what we could do is just load up my convex dashboard real quick on another terminal, because I don't know if I have it set on prod mode. There, we got our little, wait, no, it's called assistant chat. Let me go ahead and delete this one. Yeah, I mean, I'm still using convex. I'm still using convex on this side project. I find it very nice, all-inclusive, like backend as a service, personally. And I will give them a little shout out since everyone just joined. I'm not a sponsor of convex, or they don't sponsor my channel, but I just use them because I like them. So go check them out. A really smart engineers doing a lot of good work. So let me just go ahead and just do a little shout out there. Anyway, I mean, does anyone have Twitch, have questions? I'm just going to keep on coding, honestly. Like, I just wanted to stream for an hour tonight and just, like, add a feature to this. And wasn't expecting a lot of people to watch. But yeah, okay, so I loaded up the convex dashboard. I want to go to the logs because I want to make sure that if I were to do this request and submit it, does that invoke my convex action? And it does. You'll see that we have a little plan ID question. If I go to my logs over here, it did invoke that action. And so the idea is I want to use OpenAI and somehow give it context of like what I'm currently working on. I'm not sure. There's like a lot of different things that I could give it context about, like, you know, the finances of your project. I could give it your completed work items. I could give it your reports information, and maybe it would be cool to have a little drop down where you can select the type of context that you want to ask a question over. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I do want to clear out that input though. There's a couple of, you know, nice polish I want to add here, which I do on other sheets. So let's go to this sheet, and I do have a submit function up here, and do this. Oh, I think I could just, I don't need a success. All I need to do is clear out the form. So I think I can clear out the form simply by doing form.reset, right? Or is it, let's try this. That should clear out the input, I think. Now YOLO, click it, and it does send. Okay. So some more things we need to do is we need to persist the message that you just asked. Like, what is the question you just asked? And I need to persist that somewhere. So we do have the table now, which we could say await context DB. Wait, why is my DB not showing up? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's an action. Okay, so what I need to do is actually say const create chat is going to be a mutation, and let OpenAI do its thing. This needs to take in a couple of things. So definitely the question that you asked, plan ID, and we should have the user here. So instead, I'm going to say await context db dot insert a chat. There we go, system chat. And then we want to do the message, which I called it question in the UI. So for you domain-driven development people out there, I should probably come back and refactor this to be consistent. Maybe not. Maybe not, because I mean the AI technically is not asking questions, so it's just a message. Plan ID and then the user ID should come from context user dot. Actually, where does the user ID come from? Auth. User identity. Yeah, let's move this up here. There's so much refactoring I need to do in my code base here, but how do I do it before? So basically this stuff. This is my authentication check, and then also I have like a way to get the user. We have has access to plan. Access to plan, query. Sorry if you guys are asking me questions in chat. I'm ignoring you guys again. I got stuff I need to get done. Has access to finance. But I still love you all. Man, it's like, you know, where like you haven't touched a project in like a couple days and you come back and you like don't remember how you did anything. So let's just go and look at messages, right? So I'm guessing somewhere here we have an action. Okay, this is around the same pattern, and we get the access object to check if we have plan access. And then we get the user is premium. Now, all this stuff needs to be fixed up. But I'm a copy paste coder, so let's just go ahead and paste this in. So the first thing that I'm going to do is bring in this. Actually, this needs to be over here. I'm jumping around, but basically I have an action, I invoke it, and I need to verify that the person making this request, do they actually have access to this plan that they're trying to like insert a chat or ask a question to? Because obviously you don't want people just like running up your OpenAI build unless they're a premium user. And so if they don't have access to that plan, I throw an error. Then I check to see, why do I get the user? I should already have the user. Hold on a second. I have the user ID. Why do I have the user? Oh, I need to know if the user is premium or not. So then I pass it there. If you're not actually subscribed, you shouldn't be able to run any like OpenAI type of features. And if everything is good, I can run a mutation. Let me just make this an internal mutation for right now. And we can go over here. We can pass in this stuff. That should call this mutation, which I can basically just insert this record directly into the database. Since it's internal, technically I can just trust the user ID that's passed over. Although I do think, probably check some other places I do this. Where do I do this? Looks like it's just passed in. I'll figure it out later, but at the very least, like, we could just pass in the user ID, which, unfortunately, that's just, like, an untyped string, so that kind of sucks, but I think this should insert that. Args.userid. There we go. What's this complaining about? All right, that was a lot of work. But it's for good reasons. This is for good reasons. I need to make an abstraction over like a premium action so that all of this code, I think I'm copying and pasting a lot of this stuff like literally all throughout my code base, or maybe a couple of places. But I think if we are a premium user now, if I were to run this action, it should persist it. If I go to data and I go to assistant chat, there it is. Awesome. Go back and see what you guys are doing. Is this a new VS Code theme? Yeah, I'm trying a new theme. This is Bearded Theme HC Ebony. Anyone know a workaround for loading local files via FS and Next.js server actions in prod? You will have an issue doing that if you're deploying to Vercel, because there's, I don't think you can kind of like use the FS in a server action. If you're deploying to a VPS, I mean, you should be able to do it, right? Is it not working with a, like, I guess it depends on where you're hosting, right? What LLM orchestrator are you using? I'm just using ChatGPT ABI. I've been enjoying using Convex. Thanks, Cody, for the reference in a previous video. Awesome. Yeah, I like Convex a lot too. Do you have reusable components in your app? Yeah, we have a decent amount of reusable components. I mean, a lot of the components are shadcn, right? So that's like the level of reusable components. For example, here. And then sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's not worth abstracting again. Like, I've run into many issues in my career where, like, you create too many reusable things, and then those reusable things have, like, a bunch of branching logic in it because they weren't actually reusable. So I try to just avoid trying to create too many abstracted things. Let me check out my stream manager real quick. Oh wow, this is like by far the most viewers I've ever had on Twitch. So Theo and Theo's followers, I appreciate you coming over here, hanging out. This is a big question. I'm not having the best time learning to code. I think I got the wrong idea about coding, or it's my disability that makes it hard to learn. I feel like an unfamiliar person who wants to learn but can't because of my disability, and I just can't handle it anymore. I have tried and tried and tried and been coding since 2017, and it was exciting in the beginning, but now it's a nightmare. Well, I honestly, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know, just keep trying. I don't have any type of disability, so it's hard for me to like give advice on that, but I would just say don't lose the spark. I mean, if you once enjoyed doing it, don't give up. Keep trying. Maybe at some point, like, the light bulb will just click. And I would hate for you to quit trying, even though, I mean, you've been trying since 2017. I guess I'd also ask, like, what are you struggling on? Like, what is it that you're struggling on? Because from that comment, I can't tell. Like, you might be actually pretty decent, but you think you're bad. I hate how on YouTube you click this and it loads up like this cat panel. I hate that because they always have a lot of logic and it's complicated to understand. I'm a beginner since forever. Yeah, I mean, like, if I were to ask you to, like, can you read in a file, can you parse a CSV file without reading up a documentation on how to do that with Node.js or whatever backend language you chose? Like, can you do that? Or is that something that you still couldn't figure out after almost, was that 7 years of coding? Winito. Winito. Hello. Love your YouTube videos. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Do you have things you enjoy? I've been programming for a long time, but it's all started because I played RuneScape. Ah, my boy. We got a RuneScaper over here. I used to play RuneScape so many times back when I was like, I don't know how old I was, bro. I used to like go and like pretend like I'm making swords. I built a whole blast furnace in my backyard when I was in elementary school because of RuneScape. I wanted to make like blacksmithing shops. But sorry, your question. And I wanted to make my own bot. Now I write code for plants on my free time. I write code for plants? What does that mean? Yeah, Twitch chat has a very different vibe to their questions than YouTube chat. Like, for hobbies, yeah, I mean, I like right now I've been working out with my wife at the gym. Playing games. I was playing a little bit of Fortnite for a while there on my Xbox. Don't Starve is another fun game I like to play with my kids. Yeah, back to Ames Beckett. I mean, you can always try to stay in like a relative engineering field. Just try to like branch out, maybe like UX design, UI design, front end engineering. I don't know. Anyway, it's the last thing that we did was we accomplished storing and persisting the information. So I think what we could do is add a query. We want to be able to query this data back out of our database, right? So I'm going to say export const get chats equals query. And we definitely want to get the user ID. So I think we need to continuously do that, has access to plan, which, let's go here. I know there's something like has access object. Oh, is that what it is? Has access to query plan. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. So const access object is equal to await has access to query plan. We want to pass in that context in the plan ID. If there is no access object, then we know that this user should not be allowed to do that. And we will just return an empty array. Otherwise, I think we can just do a query against the assistant chat. With index, make sure we do the index by plan ID, user ID. And then we're going to go ahead and say, we're going to have to do this. Q dot equals plan ID. Boom, there we go. And then collect. And then we should probably also limit. How many things do we want to limit for? We'll say take. We'll start with simple 10. You're going to limit back to a 10. I think we can also order by. So order by. Wait, how do you order by again? Let's just check messages because it's very, very similar. Order sending. With index order. Oh, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. So we'll say order descending so that we have the latest entries, the most recent entries, and we'll take 10 of them, and then we will return the chats. All right, let's take a second and just look at this code because I want to make sure this is secure. So the person making the request to the query, do they have access to the plan? If not, just return empty array. If they do, do the actual query, give them back the last 10 things. And then we can use that in our form somewhere. Let's just go ahead and say const assistant chat. This is equal to use query. And then we'll say API, assistant chat, it chats. Definitely want to pass in the plan ID. What is this complaining about? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so we want to keep that form, and at some point I might pull that into another component as well, but above the form, go ahead and print out a message dot message. I hate when the object has the same property as like what I'm looking for. Feels like a hack. But okay, this whole form here, let's just wrap that. Honestly, let's just nest a bunch of divs because that's peak programming right there. Just divs inside of divs inside of divs. Then why is this complaining? It's potentially undefined. So right now, I'll just put a question mark, but I usually like to use like loaders and skeleton stuff. So let's go back to our chat app. And I'll say, what is up? How is it going? Okay, and I do want to reverse this. I want the most recent to be at the bottom. And so technically we could do it here. Like we could just reverse it. I don't know why I say technically, like that just works. Wait, will that work? Hold on, let me refresh. I think this is like caching something. Wait, why is it? Is reverse an in-place reversal? Reverses the elements in place. Method mutates the array and return. I think that should work. Oh, there we go. I don't know why that this padding. I need to fix this padding real quick. All right, let's style this up a little bit. So we got a div inside of another div. Give this a padding x of 2. Let's give this a space y of 4 over here. What do we want to do? We want to give this a class name. And for right now, I'll just say like rounded BG slate 600, but I'm sure there's a color that I should be doing. We'll get there. You know, I have a whole, hold on a second. I have a whole entire component that does messages already. Like if I go to my app, this like, let me show you, this is what we have. If I go to messages, testing. It has a different vibe to it, I guess. Maybe not. I thought we were gonna be able to use that, but whatever. Let's just keep styling this a little bit. I think the padding needs to be a little bit smaller. I think this. Where do I want to add? I'm a margin top type of noob, so I'm gonna go ahead and put margin tops everywhere so I can kind of shift this whole thing down. Although, why is that not working? There we go. And then on here, I'll just put some padding on this thing. That's maybe a little bit too much. Padding x of 4, padding y of 2. Let's see how this looks. Okay. Okay, so now, I guess I should go back to chat. I don't want to neglect you guys. Make you start feeling bad. Oh, I feel like YouTube now went silent and now it's like Twitch. Did all my YouTube people switch over to Twitch? Would you recommend me to learn Tailwind CSS? I would say yes. I personally like Tailwind. I think it's really good. Sorry, there's just too much. I can't catch up with all this stuff. Honestly, I've watched the Primeagen on Twitch, and I don't know how he keeps up with the chat. Like I feel like he just like does an IV of caffeine before a chat so that he can just like get through everything. Giving up on projects. Here's a question. Do you use style components or emotion at all? No, I just use Tailwind, honestly. I think Tailwind CSS is like, has been one of my favorite ways to do styling. What ORM am I using? I'm actually using Convex, which is a backend as a service. For this project. For my other projects, I use Drizzle ORM right now. I did use Prisma for a while, and then I switched to Drizzle because everyone else was switching to it. But I do like Drizzle a little bit more because it's just like, oh, it's all in TypeScript, so I can just stay in TypeScript land where not so. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's do this. All right, so I'm like almost there. So now I need to like be able to. First of all, let's just delete all this stuff. Let's just start fresh. Here we go. And then I want to basically, I need to use OpenAI somehow. I need to basically have OpenAI pass some context, which we do multiple places in this project. So I mean, this won't be hard to add in. I just need to do it. One I recently added yesterday was the ability in my convex directory. What am I looking for? I'm looking for changelog. Boy. Generate changelog from work items. This one is a super complex one I added. Guys, don't judge my code. I need to dry some stuff up. But I don't have time. All right, so this is how I'm asking questions to OpenAI. Typically, I have an action. I also have a limiter. I don't want people like abusing the AI stuff. So what I'm actually going to do is when you ask your question, okay, we'll persist that in convex. That's cool. But before we do that, we want to make sure that have you hit a limit on how many of these things you should be able to do. So I'm going to say max assistant chat a month. Right now, I'll just set it something high, 50. I think I spelled assistant wrong, didn't I? So let's do this. And I want to make sure that if you keep on asking questions at some point, we are going to go ahead and block you. So I'm going to say assistant chat is the type of rate limit we want to keep track of. And then if you hit that limit, don't do anything. And then we add the chat. And then what we need to do is run. Oh, this probably needs to be added to increment that limit. Are these typed? Did I type these? Nope, I don't have these typed. Oh well. Great chat. Yeah, so we need to run some AI stuff here. Let's try this. So we'll create our chat first. And then we are going to go ahead and just what do I want to do? I'm already in an action, so I should be able to just ask OpenAI a question right here. Completion. Okay, let's do this stuff. I just want to get this working. I'm running out of steam and I just want to get it working. So let's go ahead and see if we can import some of this stuff. I think I already have like a way we can adjust work item, generate change log. Okay, whatever, I'll just add it here. And we're gonna run a method called generate ask project. Ask us an action. We can ask it a question. I just have it pass in some context, whatever, and then we want to go ahead and say, given the following context, please answer the question provided by the user. And this will be context. I don't even know what the proper way to like structure this stuff is. This will be question. Now, luckily for me, I think I can just have it return some string. So this will just be response. Yeah, I'll just say response. Actually, this needs to be a z.string, main of 1. Like, we should have gotten a response back. Okay, let's go over here now, and we're going to go ahead and just ask the AI some questions about something. So the question and the context. What should the context be? The context needs to actually load in your plan somehow and get something related to like your most recently completed work items or something. Hey, what's up, Beer to Beer? I love this. I love your themes. And everyone else seems to love them too, so. What am I doing here? I need a mental break. Let me do my little chat mental break. See what you guys are doing. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. A web dev Cody theme. I'd actually promote that. I don't know what colors I like, honestly. I just like it to be vivid. Like, I like the colors to be vivid. I think I've tried going through a lot of these other themes. Oh gosh, sorry guys. Like, this one looks a little too muted for my liking, but I do like the blue. That one's nice. Midnight Void. I also like high contrast. My eyes aren't the best, so anything high contrast. Oh man. Yeah, get blinded, y'all. Oh, that was nice. Minute Woodland. Oh, that one's pretty cool too. Is that what the HC stands for? High contrast? Man, this one's nice though. Brewing Storm. Yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah, I see what you mean with my colors. Yeah, feel free. If you make something, I'll definitely use it. How do I reach out to you? Do you have like a Twitter or do you have something? If you want, we can MP. Like, what does MP mean? Yeah, there's something about this. It just looks too muted and actually like makes it hard for me to focus on my eyes. But I love the colors. Like, these colors look great, but it just doesn't work for my eyes. So let's go back to Ebony. What was I doing though? So we run the mutation that'll store the chat, and then AI is going to kick off and ask the question. We're going to have to wait a little bit, and then we should get back a response at some point. This should be a string. Yep. What we could do is we can just use that response here, and I'll put it inside of that create chat. Yeah, this needs to be message, and this needs to be response, message, message, message. Some other things I want to add on is like the agent could be assistant. Over here, the agent could be user. Just so I can like style the UI a little bit differently. But to achieve that, I am going to have to go over here and say agent is a v.string. I'm going to be lazy. I should be typing this with literals, but I'm lazy right now. So let's just add the agent, which I don't think this is going to compile because I already have like assistant chat data here. Oh, no, I don't. Okay. So it should compile at some point. This project's reached a decent size. So like saving a convex file does take like 10 seconds for it to redeploy. But they have improved that tremendously. Why is this not working? Create chat. Oh, this needs an agent. And then I can say agent is args.agent. Okay, let's try this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, wait, no, I can't try this out. What I need to do is I need to give it some context, but the context I'm giving it is non-existing. Yeah, if you're able to just send me a private message on Twitter, that's like where I communicate best with people. Or join my Discord and ask me a question. I don't think you meant on Twitch, right? You can't PM people on Twitch, can you? Can you? Oh, there's something called Whispers. Alright, so I'm almost done with this feature, or at least the first iteration of this feature. What I need to do is get recently completed. No, I'm gonna get all the work items. Let's just go ahead and drive up that bill. So I have a internal work items, convex work items, get all work items. The query. Plan. Yeah, this should work, I think. Run query. This will be API, work items, get work items for plan. Need to import that. This needs to be the plan ID. There we go. Now we got all the work items that are in that person's plan. Awesome. And then we can say context is equal to map over all those work items. Join all the titles together with new line characters. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pass in this context here. And it literally will now have information about every single work item that you worked on in your system. But maybe we should do only the ones that are completed. Done. Let's just do done. You know, I could just, hold on a second. I could just do this. Maybe that's enough to give it some context. Yeah, if this works, I'll be stoked. Like, this will be pretty cool. This actually, the clack sounds like a car. You try to turn left or right in a car. What's it called? Indicators. All right, let's go over here. I'm going to say, list me out any work item that has been completed related to the finances feature. See what happens if you do this. Oh, of course. Okay, what type of completed work items do I have? That's deep. That's pretty cool. So if I made a new work item that said like add the ability to chat with AI. Versus I'm going to say add the ability for users to log in. And I'm going to say out of the current backlog items, which ones do you think are most important to work on first? The ability for user to log in is the most important to work on first. User authentication is the fundamental. This is pretty cool. I think this is actually pretty cool. I think with a little bit more tweaking, I think we can kind of get this to a really nice polished state. And then just have it feed in some context of whatever you want. So if you want to ask a question related to your finances or your feedback, like for example, we have like this user feedback option. I could just ask any question I want against feedback items and like have it respond. But I am actually excited for that. I managed to get that done in an hour, 30-minute stream. And go ahead and change that. Why is that there? I think we also have feature flags. So I'm going to go to my configs. Oh, we had feature flags at some point. Not. Features enabled. No, that's not. Anyway, I don't want to ship this yet. So what I'm actually going to do is comment this out somewhere. Commenting this out until it's more polished. At one point, I did have some config file for feature flags that made it a little bit easier to like toggle stuff on and off. But I think this is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and say working on the ability to chat with your project. Awesome. That should be deployed out. No longer visible for anybody, so. Okay. Yeah, let's go to chat real quick. Are you on Twitch or just YouTube? I'm on both right now. I'm using Restream to stream to both. Any reason you're not using Vercel's AI SDK? I just haven't had a time to check it out, honestly. I just don't know what is the benefit of using Vercel's SDK versus just using OpenAI directly. Like, does it provide a much better developer experience? And do they charge you for using it? Or do you basically just like pass along your OpenAI key and then they use that key? Please tell me how you're the more handsome version of Zac Efron. Okay. You know, just born this way. Can't help it. I don't think I've ever been compared to Zac Efron, though. I've heard other people. Will you upload this after? Yeah, everything I do on a live stream is uploaded automatically to YouTube. What keyboard do I have? I have a MacBook laptop. How do you have the energy to code after work? I'm jelly. Yeah, after work, I did just chill a little bit. I made food for, like, I cooked some chicken for everybody. And for some reason, I really wanted to stream tonight. Usually I don't stream on weekdays, just because it's hard to get time and hard to find energy. But I did have 2 coffees today. Maybe that's helping. But again, I think it's just more of like, I really wanted to contribute more to this. I feel like I've been slacking on the side project planner AI, and I just wanted to get a feature out there. So that was kind of the drive for me. It's like I need to get something done, and actually doing it on a stream, I feel like I was actually pretty productive, even though I, sat half the time talking the chat. I think just having people watching you kind of motivates you a little bit more, and then people help you debug as well. So, should use type ORM or write stored procedures. I've never really used stored procedures. I've heard bad stories about stored procedures, but I usually just use ORMs. Anyway, any final questions? I'm actually pretty tired, so might wrap this up pretty soon. Anybody? Bueller? Have you used WebSockets in this project? If it is, can you show me the code? I don't use any WebSockets in this project. This is all using Convex, and Convex basically has that all built in for you. So as you saw, like for example, where was that thing? Forgot what that widget is called. What was it called? Here it is. Let's add this back real quick. So when you are using Convex, when your React application runs and you do a query, it connects a WebSocket to Convex's backend service. And then if I go to, for example, open this up, this is the data that's stored in the Convex database. Now, the cool thing about this is that everything is reactive in Convex. So if you do a query where you say, give me all the data for this plan ID associated with this user, and I go through here and I just delete all this, it automatically updates not only on your UI, but everyone who's in your system who's using a query that the data has been changed will also get an updated version of their query. Okay, so if I have different components that are doing different types of queries against this table, and I modify things in this table, every UI of all my users who are also viewing that will get updated. And I didn't have to write any WebSocket code for that. Later, Mike G. Thanks for joining. Easier to manage multiple providers and models. Good night, dude. Yeah. Is there a place I can check out some of your code? I recently discovered your channel has been very helpful. I just added the word very in there. Yeah, I mean, I have a whole GitHub repo of tons of stuff, but yeah, this code right here, this is all private. This is like for my actual own side project, past project. So none of this will be public. I don't have a stream schedule. Honestly, it's whenever I get time. Usually it's Sundays in the morning. That's like if I do stream, like that's when it'd be Sundays in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Eastern, around that time. What's up, Raz Mick? This guy's funny. I don't know why he's coding. He should become a comedian. I'm sure his wife's like, oh, you're not that funny. But I think you're funny. Go give Raz Mick a follow in the chat. He makes Next.js content as well. So if you're a Next.js fanboy like myself, you go check him out. How am I not subscribed to you? Hold on a second. Am I not logged in with the right account? Yo, somehow I'm not subscribed to your YouTube channel. But I've literally watched like multiple of your videos. Like, like look at this. You can see I watched this one, and this one, but for some reason I didn't click the subscribe button. Please forgive me. I think the wives are just so used to the humor that they're like, yes. Not it. But everyone else is like, what? That was the funniest thing I've seen. But yeah, you all joined right when I'm losing steam, so I'm actually probably gonna wrap up this stream. I did want to ask you, Raz, you're still here. What are you working on? Last time you messaged me, you were working on the blog writing application, right? Like it writes a blog post for you, kind of. Have you made some improvements on that? He canned it. Spoken like a true side project engineer. Abandoned one project and moved on to another one that he's going to abandon in 2 weeks. That's my boy. I'm just playing. I hope you go back to it or finish it. Gamer Girlin CO GG. Primogen clap. That's cool. You guys have like custom emotes. What color scheme are you using? Right now, this is called Bearded HC Ebony. Bearded theme HC Ebony. Yep. Oh, by the way, before I end the stream, because I'm going to end it in a second, if I did a community project, and obviously it'd probably be in Next.js, or I'm open to suggestions, what would you all want to build in a community project? I'm thinking about starting one up soon. I just need to get a good idea so I can like wrap my head around like what needs to be built. I ain't touching lava, bro. I've already touched lava. It was fun for that one Twitter hype phase of a week. And then I'm gonna go back to what I know. Like I think lava's cool. But it's just not for me, you know? I like my TypeScript. I like my type safety. Yeah, bearded beer. I will check my Twitter in a little bit. I'm not sure if that's where you're messaging me. Let's see, Twitter. No, yeah, just make a theme. Let me know. I'm not sure how you're gonna reach out to me, but I'm sure you can find me somehow. Start of a Twitter clone that is nicer. When you say nicer, do you mean like the people are nicer, or do you mean like it looks nicer? Because honestly, I think having a social media platform that's more uplifting would be pretty cool. Like uplift.com, Uplift app. I was thinking about doing something to make it more like geared towards, you know, religious, spiritual uplifting, but people seem like they like negativity on social media. Where basically you get banned if you say anything mean versus, you know, that was one idea. I'm probably never going to build it. I don't know. It's just a dev server ahead, but man, Next.js runs like dog cheeks on my. Yeah, I mean, Next.js, I have a MacBook Pro, M3, whatever Pro. It's still like when I save a file, it's like VS Code is like having troubles trying to even reload. I don't know if it's TypeScript, Next.js. I'm also using turbo mode, but at some point when you get too many files, it's just like super slow. But the alternative is what? Use HTMX and Go? Like, come on now. I have PTSD with manager yelling at me. Build a community project, simulate that experience so I can be productive. Yeah, we can just have like AI yell at you all the time, and we'll do it in like different types of like fake AI voices. What happened to your Minecraft server hosting? That was another project I abandoned. I feel like that one was like too hard to figure out, and then I look at the competition of like other people who are doing it, and somehow they're able to like spin up Minecraft servers for like super dirt cheap. And I'm like, you know what? This is probably not something to even like get into. Yeah, this stream will be posted after the video closes. Sometimes it takes a little bit, like a couple hours for YouTube to like process it all, and then it gets automatically posted. So you need to build an AI trained on your meme posting style and troll dev Twitter. I have a talent, you know? That's my talent. I just recently discovered my talent on Twitter. of just shit posting, and like I just had to take a break. Like I had to take a whole week off of Twitter because I'm like, I'm just too good at this, and the community's just not ready for it. But now I'm back, so I'm gonna probably just keep on posting memes. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for joining. It's been almost 2 hours, but yeah, I might stream again in the future. It'll be random, so click that bell icon, or else you'll never see me stream. You'll never know that I'm streaming. It'll be a surprise.